Brownie, do you know what principles are? Brownie, oh brownie, brownie. Let's talk about principles. You too, Missy. You ever think about how you operate? I mean, how you function as a human being? It's time to think about it. So, the very first time I thought about it was after I read the book by Ray Dalio called Principles. And I thought, whoa, why hadn't I thought before? How is it that you function as a leader? And I started digging more into it, and I started thinking, well, what's my operating system when it comes to leadership? I took time to outline that. And here's what I came up with. Pay attention, because you've got to do this, and I'm not sure why nobody teaches us this part. Over the span of the last 2 years, I've taken the time to look at how I lead. In essence, how I affect those people around me. You've got to start thinking, like, how is it that I affect those people just around me? Maybe family members, spouse, children, siblings, parents, friends. How do you affect them? Do you even think about that? Well, let me give you a glimpse as to what I created and, in essence, help you recreate it pretty quickly. I call mine leadership principles, and I have an acronym for it to help me remember it. Mine is simple. It's ISPARK. I created the acronym ISPARK so I could remember it, right? The very first one on I is innovation. As I looked back at the things that I had created, lab code agents, a brilliant tribe, my amazing real estate team, and all of the content that I create, I thought, well, it seems to me that I'm always pushing ahead, and I'm always changing the way things are, even if it's a small tweak. And so I always seem to be innovating, right? And what I did is I wrote out all of the words that came to mind, things that I thought, well, I may be something like this, and also things that I aspire to be. So these leadership principles are always pushing me forward. They're there as a reminder as well. First, innovation. The next one is systems. Now, every leader knows the importance of systems. Systems and processes is what I call it. And so when I look at the things that I've built over the last few years and the way that I lead, I looked and I said, well, without them, without these systems, I wouldn't be allowed to scale. Right? I wouldn't be allowed to grow. So I'm very systems oriented. And for me, that's an important principle. I look to always have systems when I'm leading. Next one is P. So ISP. P is for people. And the very first thing that comes to mind is that all great leaders have amazing people around them. And if you think about Sam Walton, there was a quote that he said here. And I'm going to read the quote to you because I don't have it memorized and I don't want to screw it up. So the quote goes like this: if you want a successful business, your people must feel that you're working for them, not that they're working for you. And to me, that encompasses how I function as a leader. And I think, well, damn, I'm definitely putting people first, because the people that have been with me for a very long time, and I treat them right, and they know that they mean a lot to me. That's a core principle for me. People first. Without the right people, you're not able to grow to the magnitude that you want. And so we're on P, I-S-P. Next one is A. Now, A is awareness. You can call it emotional intelligence. You can call it social awareness. You can call it whatever you want. The fact is that we need this piece. And I looked at it and I'm like, whoa, I do lead with awareness. I, like everybody else, I can definitely improve on my awareness. But I do look at situations and I say, well, did I function in the right way? Did I say the right thing in that spot? Or could I have approached this a little bit better? And how are people responding to this right now? So I do my best to think of situations that I'm in and be aware of situational awareness, right? So like I said, whatever you want to call it, it's important to be aware of how you affect those around you, right? And how people are responding to you. Next one is R for resilience. This is definitely one that if I look back over the last 20 years that I've been in business, I think that I'm like, being a great leader requires massive amounts of resilience, because you will go through massive downs and amazing ups. And when you're passionate about something, you're going to make sure that you get through whatever you're going through. And that resilience in the way that I lead, in the way that I lead my businesses, in the way that I lead my life, in the way that I lead my family, I co-lead my family with my wife, I think we're resilient. And that stood out with me. Yeah, we've been through a lot, but guess what? We're going to come out at the end winning. We're going to learn from this, and we're going to grow, and we're going to keep going, right? So resilience was important for me. And the last one is really the first one on my list, and it's always on my mind, and that's kindness. With so much hate and anger and opinions, wanton opinions from everyone telling you how they feel and how things should be, and not really caring about other people's emotions or feelings, kindness has almost been thrown out the window. And that's one thing that I've always held on to since I was a child. And so to me, when I look to kindness, I look back and I say, well, how do I treat people around me, right? Do I empower them? Do I push them to be better versions of themselves? Do I treat them with respect? Do I want to make sure that they have an environment where they can grow, right? Do I give people the benefit of the doubt? I always remember the book that was written about Nelson Mandela. And when I read about how he led, he was always giving people the benefit of the doubt and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe they didn't mean it that way. And he would open up and bring people in to his world by being kind. And I always say, well, yeah, I lead with kindness. And so that's how I came up with ISPARK. And now I look to you, and I want you to take the time to write them out by hand and say, well, how do I lead? Am I a power leader? Am I leading with kindness, with resilience? Am I a happy leader? Do I instill laughter and happiness? Do I make people feel calm and relaxed? How is it that I lead? And it's important to outline this because, one, it keeps on reminding you of who you are, so you can go back to it and you can see and say, well, damn, that doesn't fit my leadership style. I have to go back to my core because it's here for a reason, right? And all these principles go back to your values, how you lead your life on a daily basis. And the other reason is you use these principles to push you forward to become a better version of yourself. And that's one thing that sometimes left out. So I kind of use this at the same time as affirmations, right? I'm affirming that I want to be this leader and I want to grow to be a better innovator, a better person with systems. And I want to lead with more kindness and use that as a powerful strength. And so I want you to do the same thing here. I want you to start outlining what your principles are, right? What are they? What do you look to? What do you gravitate to? When things go wrong, what happens in your head? What are the positive things? Now, we're not focusing on all the negative things. We're focusing on things that'll make you better, right? Things that you're already amazing at and can always get better at. So in essence, think of what your principles are. Think of what your leadership principles are. Think of your values, what you stand for. Start outlining those and take time to put those on a sheet like the one I have that I can send to you. Just message me. I'm also going to put it on the link below here on the description. But it gives you an idea of where to start. I hope you have an amazing day, and thank you for your support. Hope you rock it.